to the Oneal show. All I've got is just for you. You ready for my beef tonight? I'm okay, just treat me right. Come in, me people, come in, me friend. What you gonna do when you come to defend? Question ask, me answer them. Wheel it up and pull it up and mash again. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. Oh, yes.
Well, friends, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you all this evening? How are you all this evening? Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. I trust that y'all are okay. I like that. I like the mere fact that y'all are fine. Everything is good so far. It's been a pleasure with the show. There's so much going on. There is so much going on right now. One moment here. So y'all are ready for it tonight. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Give me one moment here. Give me one moment here, friends. I'm just making sure I do what's needed to be done. Okay, all right. So for those who are watching the entire show, right? And I'm gonna do a monologue first, and then I'll let on our guests, and then we'll talk a little bit more because I have two guests for us tonight. So just bear with me here, guests. Bear with me. You'll be on pretty soon. Give me a moment. So let's kind of work this thing where it's at. You know, let's work this where this is at. Good night. Let me first and foremost say good night. Before I even start, before I bring the guests on, before I do anything at all, good night. Good night. Let me do my little monologue first. Y'all know that this could go anywhere, right? You know that this can go any which way. One of the things y'all should know about the Wayne skits is that Wayne has a propensity to deceive the audience. The question is this a deception? That is the question. Is this a deception? That's it. And let's ask this question really and truly. Is this a deception? That is the question. That is the question. Is this a deception? Are we being deceived? That's what I want to ask you. I know how to feel. Is this a deception? Is this a deception? Are you being deceived? Is it real? Are they trying to, like somebody says, Oneal, they're trying to push our buttons. I think it's Angela Atkinson that says that. I'm not loud enough. Somebody said, Oneal, you're not loud enough. Really? I'm very soft? Oneal, you're very, very soft, Oneal? You can hear me better now? I guess. Oneal, you're not loud enough. Can you hear me better now? Am I more clear? Well, I'm trying not to shout too much in the microphone, friends. Just bear with me here. I mean, but thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Are we being deceived, friends? Are we being deceived? Is this deception at its finest? Let me read some of your comments real quick. Let me get some of the comments real quick so we can make sure that we're keeping up the speed with things here. Let me get some of your comments real quick. Are we being deceived? Anthony stressing you out. Why? Why Anthony has stressed you out? Why is Anthony stressing you out? Angela, Charmin, why? Why? Anthony is doing what is in his best interest. You guys know this was going to come. Y'all know this was going to come. If you think that Anthony is going to let Amber ride off into the sunset, you guys are all mistaken. You believe in fairy tales. If you think that Amber was going to ride off into the sunset, I have a unicorn that I want to sell you. If you think she's going to ride up in the sunset, I have a unicorn to sell you guys. I have a unicorn for you. Don't worry yourself. Unicorn meat is here for you. Don't worry yourself. I can prepare some good stew unicorn. She is not going to just ride off into the sunset. No, no spouse that I know makes you walk off into the sunset and say, oh, you know what? Okay, all right, fine. Nope. Not gonna happen. Never gonna happen. Sometimes you'll have to fight for your right. So now you're all seeing the whole idea of it. Let me put when she puts the ring down, because she said she'll take the ring off. Because Anthony told her, you know, not to take the ring off. Well, she said she's going to take the ring off. That's basically.
But we promised each other for better, for worse. We're not getting a divorce.
You know what? You want to quote the scripture, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what else the scripture says?
Wait a sec.
It says, I can leave your dusty behind.
Dusty.
As soon as you decided to step out and go be with Shayla.
Woo.
So, Anthony, I am fully justified. And I am at peace with my decision.
Dusty. Extremely dusty. If you ask me, basically, we should get one of those duster things and dust him off, because that's how dusty Anthony is right now. That is how dusty he is. That is how dusty Anthony is right now. That's how dusty. And don't worry, I have 2 guests for y'all. I'm not, just give me a couple. Let me just land this first. Then I'll bring my guests them on, and then we'll go at it. So don't worry yourself, guests. Don't worry yourself. You're going to be on. Just give me a little minute. Let me land this. Let me see on her face in the chat. Let me read some comments. Angela says she agreed that Wayne might be doing some lots of stuff. Wayne not doing no divorce. So I don't believe it. Amber don't want to get divorced. That's what Malcolm says. She don't want to get divorced. Only they're not loud enough. I hope that I'm a bit much louder right now. Yes, I think it's because the numbers. Are high. Eh? Okay. I feel hoodwinked and bamboozled. Why you feel hoodwinked and bamboozled? On a show, you know, listen to me. Y'all can put a bet in on this. I mean, Nanya is the queen of bets. I've lost many bets. In fact, I still have my t-shirt to this day that says Oneal TV, you lost. I wear it with pride because Nanya has made sure she gave me the t-shirt. Oneal have to buy himself a t-shirt because of how much Nanya put me underneath the... I was over my head and I was betting her and lost. lose disgustingly, me lose. That's what happened. Right? That's exactly what happened. Y'all ladies to invest in Amber's divorce. Well, to be very fair with you, Oneal did say he wanted to get a divorce. I'm not going to make it seem like Oneal wasn't supporting her getting a divorce. I'm a little bit suspect onto how Missy Amber moving today. Me a little bit suspect, but hey, that's just Oneal. The divorce will not happen. The writers will have Anthony continue to manipulate Amber. So disappointing. Why would I think this? Are you guys quitting already? Don't quit. Wait till we bring Nanya on, because she's going to tell me something different. I know Nanya going to tell me something else when she comes right on. When Sharon Reviews come on, I know them are going to come on and tell me with them chests sticking out, basically. I just think they might not do that. They might not do that at all. They might not do that. But Wayne wants to know if the audience wants to see Dalton's divorce. What do you mean? The audience has been asking for a divorce, but Wayne knows what he's doing. Y'all are crazy. If you believe that Amber will tell the truth, I don't believe anything else she says. You don't believe what she said? I told you that the plot twist is coming. That's what you tell us, Charmaine. Charmaine said plot twists are come. So the plot is twisting. Anthony's irking Amber's nerve. If our last nerve. You know, somebody get on your last nerve. It's like a little ants. So y'all are calling Anthony an ant. Basically, that's what I'm doing right now. I knew that Anthony not going to let her go that easy. Anthony because this is a challenge. This is a challenge. I said yesterday that I think that Amber is doing this to see, I may be wrong, but I think that she's doing this to see if she can get Anthony to pull himself up by the bootstraps, because that's when Anthony puts pedal to the metal, when his back is against the wall. He's a sink or swim type of guy. If you listen to what he told Amber, that's what he said. It is no way he can win her back right now. Carlin, you believe this? What? Carlin, you sure? You have that? Carlin, do you have this stamp and signed by a notary? You need to have this stamp and signed by a notary. You know, if you think, say, Anthony's going to let her walk through the door, if Anthony has to get water from the moon, that's exactly what he's going to do. No man can get water from the moon. Y'all, you listen to me, man. Donna says Team Daltons forever. That means that Donna no in a nothing. I hate how they allow Anthony to manipulate Amber. Her character is so weak. Is it really weak? Because the truth of the matter is, doing a Donna. Think about it. If Amber is allowing Anthony to pull himself up to go to the restaurant to do these things, is she really weak? Let's start asking questions here. We're saying she's weak, but really and truly, and she's making him do these things, I would want to say that she's actually deceptively strong. I think Amber is deceptively strong to the point where you will think says she's weak, but she is pulling a couple stunts. You women know what I'm talking about. Uno know me Oneal is talking about. Don't act no like say y'all don't know. Don't make it seem like Oneal not talking about anything strange. I'm not talking about anything strange. I am not talking about anything strange. But she tell Ernestine, she have a lawyer with Ernestine. Give me a moment, guess. Let me just get this monologue out the way, and then I'll get you all on. She told Ernestine today that she's going to get a divorce. Ernestine didn't believe.
Would not let me let this thing go.
Now, this sounded good. When we hear this, it sounded good. This sounded good. Let me just go through the clips then. So when we start talking, we know what we're talking about. This sounded good. I like the sound of this. This sound good.
Perfect baby.
Yeah.
Take it back from here, sir.
I've forgiven him. And I have forgiven Shayla.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't forgotten Ernestine. You see, I wanted to be the perfect wife and have the perfect life with the perfect house.
With the perfect reaction channel, Oneal TV. Oneal TV. Put that piece in there, Amber. Put that piece in there. The perfect Oneal. And what I wanted Oneal to say the perfect things about the perfect Amber. And I wanted Oneal TV just to give the perfect remarks about the perfect. I wanted Oneal to do all of these things here. Go ahead.
Perfect husband, perfect car. I wanted the perfect baby.
Yeah, you did. You
But
did.
that was all just ego. My ego would not let me let this thing go.
Wow, Amber, I am.
This was believable. Let me just start this right here. So this part was believable because Oneal said, wow, she has finally found out that she does have an ego about marriage. This was very, very good. This is remarkable. This was remarkable. Let me get some comments. The fact that he is part owner of the restaurant, she might as well call it quits with the marketing company because he will manipulate her to no end, whether through Bible verses or vows. Just pathetic, really. Again, you're sure Amber not running game? I'm just saying, be mindful. But I understand what you're saying, though, Donna. Don't worry, sir. Don't think Oneal is not looking at it both ways. I'm just saying open your mind up. Because I understand what we're saying. Anthony is about to turn into a nut like Shayla. Possibly. Anthony is matching Amber's energy. But if he feels so free with Shayla, why not just let her go? Because he want to keep him money. What do you mean why him not let her go? Juanita, millions of dollars are on the line. The man is not going to be walking away from him millions of dollars. Millions are on the line, friends. Millions. Amber is Anthony's prized possession. You hear that? By Angela Atkinson. Prized possession. It's like you have a farmer's market and you have the prize pig where you don't really take out just like that. You don't take out the pig like that. You don't just let anybody touch your prized possession. So he's not willing to let her go. The question with you is Amber prized possession? That is the question. Him treat her like a piece of furniture. Somebody said that today. I don't know why them said that, but them say it's like a furniture. Give me a moment. I'm gonna jump. I'm setting this up. I'm setting this up. Nani and Sharon, give me one moment. Let me just set this up and then I'll bring you all in. Is Amber prized possession? That is the question. Both of them might just be prized possession to each other. You know what I don't know? I don't know if she's a trophy. I don't know if this will actually make it become where they become even I don't know if they become even stronger after this. So, I have to start thinking very long and hard, Maybe I too need a unicorn. Same thing I said, Deborah. Maybe a bun in the oven and she don't know. Remember, she always wanted to use the restroom regularly. Maybe she is pregnant. If she's pregnant, does that change things? Those are also questions. Don't fall out, friends. Don't fall out. I'm going to land this. What do you mean you're going to fall out? Don't fall out in your chair yet. Don't worry. Nanya is brewing backstage and Sharon is brewing backstage. I'm sure them will come tell me off. Just like how y'all want to tell me off in the chat this evening. I don't know. I know the plan for tell off Oneal. You see what Terry said? Nanya, here's what Terry said. Nanya, if you don't come get Oneal, we're going to fall out. What do you mean you're not going to fall out? What are we falling out for? What we do? Oneal has been a decent host of the program. I haven't done anything. I'm the nicest guy in the world. I've not said it. All I'm doing is calling it on different multiple sides. No prize. Anthony is no prize. You're not saying he's not a prize. He is not a prize. Okay. So I like the fact that she mentioned this. Let me go to the next little piece really quick. Bear with me here, friends. Bear with me. Then we came to the restaurant and saw Anthony working. All of a sudden, he's working. No, I did chastise him for doing this. Because if Anthony can do this now, he could have done this before. That's why I may never like this. Because this look like Anthony not really standing on anything. Which is kind of what I've been saying anyways. That's my problem with the Anthony character. Especially for the men them who come in the chat. The problem with Anthony is Anthony not stand on anything like us men. Anthony will say one thing today and then tomorrow it might change. And it can't work like that. If you don't like restaurants, tell the woman, I don't like restaurants. Simple as that. But he was bullbuck and duck.
Right here don't really give like that high profile. You know what I'm saying? Like it's and this is no disrespect.
Yeah.
It's given like pub or bar. You know what I'm saying? I think we need to get the menus to where they fold out so you can see the full.
I'm not even getting into it. The mere fact of the matter is this. He could have done all of this. When Amber was asking him. That is true. Him could have done this long time. Then let me get into the final clip and then I'm going to get on the people who need to come on. So we can get into it. Is the ring going on? And I'm not going to show the ring going on. I want to show just before Amber came on. And by the way, Sharon Reviews called this out to me. And she said, Oneal, I don't like this. But she's going to come on and speak for herself. But I want you all to listen to the beginning of this scene right here.
I know, but I do not want her all in my business.
Okay, so
I did ask him for a divorce.
and then okay.
And then this morning, I think he just think I'm playing.
So when you came in, I noticed you had your ring on. So I was like, oh, okay, she for real. Detroit Empress back.
I gave him the rings back this morning.
Well, then he come in here and he's trying to make changes and he.
All right, so I don't like this. I think that if you're going for a divorce, you need to be quiet with your business and get it going from there versus you're just putting it out there and you're doing this thing in front of everybody else. Let me read 10 comments and I'm going to bring my co-host on and we're going to get into it today so we can talk some more. And of course, y'all know we have got to interact with the chat so we know that work. Well, all right, Amber has a divorce card. Don't leave home without it, basically. Yes, passion. He doesn't know how to express it. Anthony only does enough in this marriage to get the results that he wants when he wants it. And then he goes right back to his old ways. All right. Now, have not been to the gym since Amber has told him about the divorce, which is kind of what I was saying. So in other words, the gym and those things were just things. He told him everything else. So him not tell Ben about this. Nanya, I want when Amber finishes with him, he has another chest pain. So I don't want him get another chest pain, basically. I just want him lose a whole heap of money. That's it. So basically, I don't want him lose a lot of money. All right. Let me get in the people I need to bring in. Give me one moment here. Let's jump into this. Because we can talk about this at any given time. Oneal is a wonderful soul. I've always been that. Give me one moment here, Nana. Give me one moment here. Let me put us in. Let me put us in right here. Give me one moment. I'm trying to see if I can move you to guest room one. Guest one. Let me get my people in here, friends.
Where is the pastor? Go on with matching. I'll get the passport. So sit down, trouble me.
Sean, I'm about to bring you on, so look out for that. Give me one moment here. Let me bring in my guests, please. Let me see if I have my guests and I can carry them in right now because it's been too much. It's too much for us to bear. That's why some people say it's too much for us to bear. So, let Oneal see if he can get it working. I told y'all, I'm gonna bring, listen to me. Oneal is going to make sure it happens the way it needs to happen.
Right.
Why do you feel like I'm not bringing it on, Anya? Give me one moment here. Why do you feel like...
I see you.
Yeah, but hold on. I got to assign you guys. Give me one moment. There you go. There you go. There we go. Let me assign one, and I'm going to assign the other one. And then let me just assign... I'm going to assign you to the next side. There you go. Woo. Good evening, friends. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Nope, that's not on TV one more. Check out one moment. Let me move one of my screen.
Here I am.
You're there. You're there. Give me one moment. Let me just put us in so that way things can get moved around. Who is this guy right here? Let me take that seat out. Nanya, I'm gonna let you start off the evening.
Oh, okay.
You ready for the evening? Nanya, introduce yourself. Sharon Reviews, introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nonya Sis. Nonya Sis Chat is my channel. And I am happy to be here with my little brother, who I love to beat up on, because that's what big sisters do. Have to teach him.
You have to teach me. Go ahead, Sharon Reviews. Talk to me, Sharon Reviews. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys, this is Sharon Rico Reviews. How are you guys doing tonight? We are so happy that we are joining Oneal tonight. So we have lots of interesting things to talk about.
Let's talk about it. So let me start off with Sharon Reviews. Sharon Reviews, is Amber serious? Let me start with you first. And Nanya, you're going to get the same question. Let me let Sharon land her plane first. Go ahead, Sharon.
Okay, I'm being devil's advocate right now because we know how Wayne can twist it up for us, right? Whenever Amber does something wonderful and we jump on it and say, oh, way to go, and we are excited, then they give us another plot twist. Like today now, this evening, that last skit that I saw,
yes,
and they did block me. Anyway, and I had to redo it again. So anyway, Amber was talking to Keisha, and Keisha says, "Oh, didn't you tell me you asked him for a divorce?" And she says, "Yes, I did." And she says, "But I thought I told it to be the Detroit Amber." And I'm here saying, so Wade is showing that Amber is asking her husband for the divorce because Keisha tell her to do it. And you can't ask your spouse for a divorce if you don't really want a divorce. If Amber really wants her divorce, she shouldn't listen to nobody. She should just go file the paper and just hand it to Anthony. That's how I see it. I understand the last straw for Amber was when Anthony lied to her about the $5,000. She already figured it out that Anthony gave it to Shayla. So that last scene there, let me double think it. You know what I mean? It shows me off a little. And I said, yes, because everything was falling into place, when she took the ring off. That was awesome. When she asked Ernestine for a lawyer, that was also good. And then they did a plot twist. to
Mm-hmm.
show says Amber is not 100% want the divorce. She is doing it because Keisha tells her to do it. And I don't like that.
All right. Stick a pin right there. So Sharon reviews. So give me a couple comments, Nanya, and then I'm gonna get you into it, and you tell me if she want to get a divorce. All right. So here, let me get about 10
Am I
things for you.
straight, O'Neill? I don't know
You
which
are straight.
camera.
Yeah, you're straight. We
Okay.
can see you. We can see you.
Okay.
Give me about 10 comments, and I'll put you in, Nanya. I don't think she actually do it because of Keisha. Somebody said that. I'm asking the question: is she doing it because of Keisha? Which you will answer as well, Nanya. Then the next question is: divorce in Wayne's World takes decades. I told that a plot twist is coming, as Shamin says. Bonwell says this is a fairy tale crew. And then good night, ladies. That's what what's her name? Evan says. You'll get Oneal straight about always slamming Tamir because he likes the BBL. No, because I think Tamir is just passive when it comes to Shayla. That's why I'm gonna give Tamir a lot of flack. I give the Shayla character a lot of flack. That's why. So they give Oneal a good fix for me. Terrian said, when you come on and you need to give Oneal a proper fixing. Just make sure you know. Then the next thing says, everything is always a double standard with Anthony. He can talk bad about Wayne, but it's okay for him to be bad just himself. Then let me get about two more comments in. Amber needs
Mhm.
to buy Anthony out of that restaurant, and if she don't, she needs to walk out
Yeah.
and tell him to. And then the final comment is, let's see, let me get one more varying comment. Amber is the only one that can help him grow in the areas that he's desperately in need of. And that's a very good comment by Passion. Go ahead, Nanya. Go ahead. Is
Okay.
does Amber want a divorce? That's one. Rico says, Rico reviews here. Sharon says she believes Keisha put her up to it. Talk
Ah,
to me. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Get it.
I do believe Amber wants the divorce.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it 100%.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Keisha putting her up to it,
Mm-hmm.
we've been leading up to this for 2 to 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So this Keisha said one word, which was happily married.
Mm-hmm.
Amber was already triggered. I
Mm-hmm.
said 1,000 times,
Mm-hmm.
Amber has one foot out the door, and she did.
Mm-hmm.
So did Keisha push her over the edge? No. Keisha basically told her, think,
Mm-hmm.
is what Keisha was saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Keisha's nobody to run Amber. So I dismiss that
Mm-hmm.
as far as her. She's not a Britney. She just said,
Mm-hmm.
"Are you happy?" I didn't hear you say happily married,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that triggered something in Amber that said, "She's right. I'm not happily married,"
Mm-hmm.
because and I kind of guys, I kind of speak from experience, and I'm trying not to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Anthony
Mm-hmm.
is going to try everything under the sun
Mm-hmm.
to convince Amber not to leave.
That is correct.
I think that of course, he's going to play perfect husband now. I want him to see Dave so he can really fall out. Okay. And then
Mm-hmm.
that might be the blessing that that marriage needs
Good old Dave,
when
eh?
another man comes in and he sees somebody that's capable of taking Amber
Mm-hmm.
on with the divorce or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing, Shauna is an advocate of Anthony. When I
Mm-hmm.
saw that skit, it infuriated me because that
Mm-hmm.
busybody needs to go somewhere in the back of the kitchen and mind her own dang business.
Mm-hmm.
She is she's an old-fashioned woman who believes in women staying in a marriage no matter what they're going through. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't like Amber,
Mm-hmm.
and she's going to be on the side of Anthony. Anthony coming in there today, these are, like I said, I think in one of my shorts, the games of divorce have begun.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't surprised that Anthony was in the restaurant. Trust me, I was not surprised one bit. The little twerp,
Okay.
I knew he was
Twerp.
going to be
He's
in
a
there.
twerp.
He is a twerp. He is. Now, you're not paying attention to your wife all these months. Now she says she wants a divorce and you bring her rings.
Twerp.
Twerp.
Mm-hmm.
So, my thing about the rings,
Uh-huh.
because that infuriated me,
Mm-hmm.
I think I told Rico this story. Somebody brought me my rings back,
Mm-hmm.
and I took my diamond and I kept
Mm-hmm.
it, and I threw the wedding ring park in the parking lot.
Yeah.
But I did it outside.
Yeah.
And for me, that was to say, you and these rings can go to wherever, right?
Right.
I'm just it's so real for me. It's so close to
Mm-hmm.
something I've experienced.
Got you.
And no cheating, but it I can relate. O'Neill, I'll tell you this, and I this morning I found the perfect song,
Mm-hmm.
and I was thinking of this. I was trying to think of Angie Stone songs.
Mm-hmm.
There are two of them that are about rain, and
Mm-hmm.
I was going to use one, but I couldn't figure out which one it was. And Amber said the song on the skit. That was I got chills because
Mm-hmm.
that's the perfect song for what was going on this morning when she was like in a fog and
Okay.
kind of like, how do I get through this? Because
Mm-hmm.
she's going to make it through.
Okay.
Um, as far as him getting Amber back,
Mm-hmm.
the two things I see: if Amber gets pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony's definitely gonna break his neck to get Amber to stay
If she
because
gets
that will be
pregnant.
his child. If she gets pregnant, that
Mm-hmm.
will be his child by his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Amber is, she's, I don't want to call her a trophy wife,
Mm-hmm.
but she is a prized, quote, possession.
Prize position. Okay.
He
Mm-hmm.
treats Amber as chattel.
Mm-hmm.
You're my wife. You're not going to do anything, and what you say doesn't matter.
Okay.
So, did it start with Keisha 2 days ago?
Mm-hmm.
Heck no. No. And the other thing,
Mm-hmm.
this is about Wayne marketing skills. Wayne is very good at playing Pied Piper.
Mm-hmm.
He leads you down this path, and then everything you see, you're supposed to all of a sudden forget.
Okay.
So now they're pushing the Keisha said so and so.
Mm-hmm.
Keisha asked, "Was that happily married?" Now all of a sudden, that's the reason Amber's getting a divorce.
Okay.
I don't fall for that foolishness
Okay.
because it's kind of obvious what he does. And I try not to look at that, but it's hard for me not to because otherwise it's not going to make sense to me. So, yes, all these months she's going through all of this. When she said, they can do whatever they wanted, that right there should have triggered everybody to know Amber doesn't care anymore. When
Doesn't.
she told him, I came with my own, I will leave with my own, in that argument in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony didn't see that as a red flag. Even though Amber apologized later, she meant it.
Mm-hmm.
She meant everything she said, and he just brushes Amber off like, oh, she's just my wife talking. And I'm thinking to myself, twerp, you just don't get it, do you? You don't see where your wife is going. She's headed out the door.
Straight out the
And
door.
then all of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
he keeps on with the Shayla nonsense and whatever else he's been pulling. And Amber said she wanted a divorce. When she took those rings off, I don't think, honestly, Amber has any plan to not go through with the divorce. I don't.
You don't think so?
I don't. I think she wants to go through with the plan, but I think it's either going to be Dave that steps in as a divine intervention.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, I don't mean date Amber, I mean Anthony. He's
Okay.
going to be affected by Dave,
Okay.
or Amber will get pregnant.
Or she'll
Other
get
than
pregnant.
that, I don't see a way for Amber to stay. I just don't see it. She
All right.
doesn't like him. At
She
this
don't like him.
moment, Amber does
Understand.
not like him.
All right. Let me jump in. Let me get some comments, and then I'm gonna let Rico respond, and then I'm going to respond to something else. All right. So let me get about 10 comments. I learned. Give me one moment here. Let me see what Angela Atkins says. Let me broaden the comment. I learned not to pay too much attention to Wayne. He goes forward, then goes backward.
Mhm.
Go back and look at the skit where Amber did the blue robe, and she was mentioned a divorce then. The blue
Yes,
robe thing. Let me read some more comments. Wayne is saying, "Don't you believe what you see? Only what I tell you."
that's right.
Okay. And the next thing, but you're wrong. But you're not seeing Amber being wrong. Amber is a trophy wife, right? Look at the dress for a millionaire's wife. Okay. Thank you, Nanya. She took the rings because she didn't want Shauna to start praying again. Amber is lacking
Mhm.
trust in Anthony. My sunshine has come, and I'm all cried. Okay, so that's the song y'all are talking about. I think that Anthony
No,
is
no, not
trying
mine.
to. Well, that's a song thing is talking about. I think Anthony's trying to find who is helping Amber. No more. Okay, so that's what they are talking about. Terrian, he is going to have to fight harder than he thinks. Yes,
Mhm.
Nanya, you chose the right song. Glad I didn't miss this. You didn't miss it. True to Love says, what made Amber really ask for a divorce is when Anthony all of a sudden had contacts. All of a sudden, he has people that can help. Amber is already
Mhm.
checked out. So that's what True to Love says. And True to Love always brings
That's right.
things. Amber is just truly tired of all of Anthony's lies. Anthony
Hmm.
always said Amber made him better in business, which is what Ben was always trying to tell Anthony when they were at Abigail's house. Let me stop right there. Sharon replied to Nanya is saying she don't think it's Keisha. Reply to that, and I'm going to jump in. I'm going to give another question. Go ahead and reply to that, Sharon. Do
Keisha
you
is a
agree
part of it.
do you agree with
Yeah,
Nanya's viewpoint?
Keisha is a part of it for
Mm-hmm.
telling her to choose herself first,
Mm-hmm.
right? But Dave is also a part of it also. When she met Dave, there was this attraction. She light up, she lit up, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then she realized what she's missing in her marriage. So when she asked Anthony for the divorce,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony, then she decided that she wanted a divorce. No, sorry. When she asked Anthony about the $5,000, because she
Mm-hmm.
asked him about the perfume before,
You're right.
when they were at the play date, she called him all day. He never answered his phone.
Mm-hmm.
When he was with Delicia, he never answers his phone, and she smelled the perfume. So
Mm-hmm.
Anthony keep lying. And remember, if your wife is suspecting, thinking that you're cheating, and then when she get evidence that it could be a possibility you and your baby mother is at it again,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's gonna say, "Why you take out that $5,000? Why didn't tell me? Why take out the cash?" And
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna lie about it when she knows it's nearby Shayla's house. So that
Okay.
was the last straw, because what she tell her friend today, Ernestine,
Mm-hmm.
that she was pretending that she wanted to be the perfect this, the perfect that, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You can't have no perfect baby. You can't have no perfect marriage. There's nothing like that. You just have to work at the marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
She needs Anthony. And you remember when she was at the game night, she
Mm-hmm.
and she was talking about what they miss about each other, she and Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Amber likes Wayne take charge of her and will protect her
Mm-hmm.
and will help if she needed help.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to Anthony, Anthony doesn't do that. Anthony rather put her down or persuade her not to get the help. Like, for instance, when she was so happy that Dave was going to help her, what did
Mm-hmm.
Anthony say? Oh, I told you so. You don't put your hopes up. You know what I mean? So that turns her off. Remember outside of Wayne's house when Darren was there and Darren
Mm-hmm.
come at her. Anthony did not step in and protect her, and she needed her husband there to put Darren in his place, and
Mm-hmm.
he chose not to. When she left, she checked him and
Mm-hmm.
says, "Look here, you know what I mean?"
Mm-hmm.
So she needs, if this marriage have any part of saving, Anthony has to bring his A game. If he really, really wants to Amber. And if it's this about, my sister said Anthony doesn't want Amber, he just worried about his money. But to me, if Anthony doesn't want Amber to leave him because he doesn't want Wayne to have her, he rather have Amber there on a pedestal and he'd lock her away, and he can continue going out and romance Delicia, play house with Shayla,
Mm-hmm.
and then light up Amber. Anthony should stop his nonsense and just agree with Amber and says, "Okay, Amber, this is it." Just sit her down and says, "I agree with you. Let's get the divorce." But we know that it's not going to be that simple, because today I call it the war of the Daltons, because at the end of the day, you remember the War of the Roses? Or
Mm-hmm.
the both of them were going at it. So this is Anthony being another Shayla. She doesn't. You can see that she's serious, But another thing is Amber just bluffing and she just want him to step up as a man.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that Anthony is not that kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
But today he's showing us that he can come in and check the menu when she been asking him all this time. Said, Anthony, I need you to help me. I need your support. And he could have supported her all this time with Miss Shauna.
Mm-hmm.
And as the other lady said, I even said in one of my video that when she asked for his help, he turned her down. But that night, the night before Dave shows up,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony was able to tell her, oh, I have some marketing friend I could hook you up with.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? When he said that, that turns her, boils her soul to say, look how long I've been asking this man for support and he did not. And then Dave comes in. So Amber likes somebody to take charge, just like how Anthony likes somebody to take charge. But Amber's tired of babysitting Anthony. She needs him to be a man and stand on 10 toes. So honestly, Charmaine, I do not know if Amber do get pregnant by Anthony, if that will save the marriage. Unless a miracle happen. If Anthony change his foolish ways.
All right, let me
That's my
jump in.
take.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in and let me put in some comments first because I also have another question and then I'm gonna throw it back over to you, Nanya. Then you'll get a chance to respond. So so let's get a couple questions in here. I think it's the fear of divorce. I understand he already canceled, concealed his assets, well-deserved divorce. Ben and Darren has been right about. Okay, all right, that's a different question. Hold on. Anthony was quick to give up his phone so Amber could check it for what? I'm quite certain. Anthony is never serious. Exactly, Rico. That's it. She told Anthony he treats her like crap. His response: Shayla doesn't call him soft. Remember, Amber told him keep his
Mm-hmm.
sorries and don't be sorry. Amber sees now with her own eyes now that Anthony is a player from the heart. So basically, not in playing. Smelling like another woman doesn't help his case. He lied about that first. Was
Mm-hmm.
his cologne. Then he hugged a business partner. He's full of
Mm-hmm.
lies. Uh, Goddess London says, my dad was an Anthony. When my mom finally left, he was stalking her, sitting out, cat calling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, hey, so, he was a narcissist, so I know a story like that too well. Anthony does not want Amber. It's all about the money. Amber is a okay. Anthony married a rich man. Okay, hold on, listen, hold on. Amber is not going to jump in a relationship with Dave. She just wants to be free. That's what I want to say. All right,
Agree.
Anthony. So just let her go. All right, enough is enough. Anthony has done nothing wrong. Well, that is debatable.
That
Dave
sounds
may
like
not
money
be
law.
interested in relationship outside of business, nor will we know why he's single. Again, Keisha was not a part of Amber's decision. Amber has been talking about divorce before she met Keisha. Amber is not
Exactly.
happy. All right. I don't think it has nothing to do with Dave. All right. So let me jump in here. So let me give my little dissertation, my little 2 cents first, and then I will throw over the big question to Nanya. So my 2 cents is this. I share some of Rico's sentiments that there are a lot of pieces involved in it. Dave has to be a factor because when Amber saw Dave and the way how Dave moved, it was one of the words she used was with Ernestine was it was refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, it's a long time that she hasn't been around a man that has basically been just a man. Him know you
Mm-hmm.
don't need to tell him anything at all. Him know what him about. You don't need to get into anything with him. But he's also not very cold like Anthony, because Anthony is cold. That's one of Anthony's ways of Anthony behave. That's one. Two, Keisha has been making mentions to Amber. It's not just the one little time that Keisha talked to Amber.
Mm-hmm.
Keisha has been making remarks with Amber from before. If y'all remember before, she mentioned the thing when Shayla came there. She mentioned something then. She's always been kind of there talking with Amber. No, she might not be the end all overall, whatever it is. But I feel like it's a mixture of all of these factors amalgamating together. I also do believe, though, that y'all are correct when you say when Anthony had that little $5,000 issue. I feel like that's probably I feel like one of the biggest. The 5 grand to
Mm-hmm.
me and the 5,000 and the lack of help was like the tipping point there
Mm-hmm.
because She deliberately asked Anthony to see if he would at least just be honest about it. And I feel like when you just don't be honest with people, it make it tough for them. That's one. And number two, when she found out that him say, him could have helped all of a sudden, like I said before, that throws anybody off because it make it look as though you could have helped me all this time, right? And now it's showing up. By the way, what he did today made it worse. Let me just mention that. I think it made it worse. I think by going to the restaurant and doing the one of the games thing made it worse. No. What I think he should do, I'm not fully certain because he need to do something, but going to the restaurant and now starting to do what you say you couldn't do, oh no. The person whomever you're beefing with is gonna think, well, hold on, but Nanya, you tell me last week so you couldn't, it, trust me, it just don't look good. It just does not look good. It doesn't be the case. In fact, it hurts your case. And that's why I'm saying Anthony doesn't stand on anything. No, maybe something should have tried was, maybe more go on a trip or a vacation or something different or whatever else. But that he tried is, I think, would have made it worse. No. What I did see though is, and what I did like, and we're going to get to it, and that's what I'm saying no. What I did not like is the mere fact that when Anthony came to put the ring back on her finger, she did rebel right inside of the restaurant because what she said to Ernestine is that she does not want to, she realized her ego is not making her let it go. But then the ego come back again. No, maybe it could be that it's not all the way gone. It could be that. Maybe they're playing, it's not all the way gone as yet. But I'm just saying, I thought she would have rebelled in the restaurant and said, look here, man. No. I'm not putting the ring itself back on. This is what I'm going to do. But again, we're talking about Wayne's World. And so, of course, while I can say one thing with the Amber character, another time she might behave a different way in that. So I'm going to now go to the point that I'm going to ask now, Nanya, and then you can respond, Nanya. My question is, again, could this be a ploy by Amber to use the divorce to get Anthony in line? That is my question. Is this Amber saying, you know what, I'm going to use the divorce card to get Amber in line? In other words, do we have another 3 rounds of this that we're seeing now? Because remember, we see this before now. And she went back. The money was 1, and Shayla was 2. This is now the 3rd time, right? Now, one could say the 3 times is a charm. But I'm just saying, do we have another 2 rounds out of this? Hey, I want a divorce cycle. Then I see. Then get into it, Nanya. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll address the last question first. No, Amber is not playing with Anthony this time.
How you know?
Because I just know. But look, I did a video and I listed all the things that Sharon talked about, all the things that you talked about that pushed this woman to divorce status. As far, I don't see it as a ploy. I see it as exit. Number one, remember part of Amber's problem was that she didn't want to see Shayla in the mansion. She doesn't give a damn anymore about that mansion. Okay, that's number one. She's ready to walk away from all of it. And all the comments about taking his money. Why do you think Amber's been counting her coins and getting her own purse back together? There's nowhere you've seen Amber say, I'm going to take his money. I want his money. Tell me one skit where she's ever said that. Because when you are a woman and you are assertive, you're not passive, you're not overly aggressive, you don't need. And Amber has never been about his money. And I think people miss that. That they're confusing that with Shayla. Shayla's love language, I guess, love language is money. Now, so you got the haunted mansion, she's ready to give it up. That number one is a big thing. I call it the haunted mansion. That's the place where Shayla slept with Amber's husband. She crawled in Amber's bed and slept with Anthony. That's why I call it the haunted mansion. She's ready to give it up. Okay. When now also, I'm not going to go over all the things that Rico just covered because that all fits into one ball. Keisha has been working basically on Amber, know your worth. That's what Keisha's been doing all this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's about self-preservation. It's
Mm-hmm.
about straighten your crown, queen.
Mm-hmm.
Look at who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get lost
Okay.
when you're in a marriage where it's confusing. Things are great. Things are going on all around you. The baby mama's still around. The kid's still around. He's
Mm-hmm.
paying her $10,000 a month. All of this is weighing on Amber's mind.
Mm-hmm.
In walks this hunk of a man, Mr. Pie guy,
Mm-hmm.
Dave. And yes, Dave is definitely Amber's type.
Mm-hmm.
So, does that make an, an, an instant sexual connection?
Mm-hmm.
No. It's somebody that she saw. He took, remember, I told you about the handshakes.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled Amber toward him. That means I've got you. When somebody covers your hand with two hands, they
Mm-hmm.
take your hand, they cover the other part. That's a
Mm-hmm.
protection handshake. He
Mm-hmm.
did that to Amber twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Amber felt that energy from
Mm-hmm.
Dave. Yes, he's very handsome and he likes Amber because if you ever notice, he's watching her
Mm-hmm.
and she could barely walk because she felt his eyes. Women can feel your eyes on them.
Mm-hmm.
Trust and believe we can. So as far as far as Dave, he does like Amber. He cut that $10,000 per month
Mm-hmm.
down to $10,000 per quarter. He
Mm-hmm.
did that
Mm-hmm.
to help Amber. Amber's got this huge ring on, but she
Mm-hmm.
has no support.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't her husband support her?
Mm-hmm.
So, Dave, whatever kind of gesture it was,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think it's trying to get with Amber or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think he truly wants to help her.
Mm-hmm.
And when I call it a divine intervention, I don't mean, Anthony's just going to straighten up because there's another man in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
However, Anthony is going to flip out when he meets Dave
Mm-hmm.
because this is a big, tall, handsome Mandingo man. And Anthony is a little peep squeak. He's a little twerp. He just is with size 2 shoes. Anyway, I'll leave that alone. Um, what
Baby
else?
shoes, you know, we
All right.
wear baby shoes, basically.
Yeah, baby shoes. I mean, he's Carlton from Fresh Prince. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now Anthony always needs his ego stroked.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when Anthony first came back, guys, and people were so angry with her
Mm-hmm.
because she didn't put any boundaries in. She let him back in. She's
Mm-hmm.
praying. She's hoping. She's teaching him the Bible. She's doing all these things for Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
What does he do? He turns around and uses it against her
Mm-hmm.
because he's the devil.
Satan.
Anthony is. How do you take those words and you try to use it for manipulation?
Satan, basically
Amber
Satan.
sees the manipulation. She sees the So, I mean, if you look at it from, if you were in Amber's shoes,
Mm-hmm.
what would you see? There is so much in this cloud, in this fog ball, that
What would I see?
that type of situation makes you want to run. It makes you want to run, O'Neill, because it's too much. And he's still disregarding everything. So until she decided, I'm done, and
Mm-hmm.
I do believe her, I'm done, Anthony never would have showed up at the restaurant. And that's the sickening kind of manipulation that, sorry, but guys will do. They think you're so stupid
Mm-hmm.
that you're just going to fall back in line.
Mm-hmm.
But when a woman, and I kid you, when a woman gets fed up with your nonsense,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they can't even stand to be around you and breathe the same air.
Mm-hmm.
And I think right now that's where Amber is. And I'm not trying to give her more props or more credits
Mm-hmm.
than she deserves. But when I did that video and I looked at all this nonsense that's going on,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, even though I already knew, but once you see it, it's like, And finally, she, with the $5,000, with she didn't even know about the play date, the perfume, the Shayla always in her face. Who
Mm-hmm.
wants to see the girlfriend always in their face? That's why Amber's been so direct and to the point with her. In other words, she told her, Shayla, I thought you were smarter than this. She didn't realize that Shayla's still the same stupid girl she used to know.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony's still running behind Shayla.
Mm-hmm.
she knows that $5,000 went to Shayla. But when you get to a certain point, O'Neal, and you stop talking,
Mm-hmm.
you stop talking, you walk with purpose, you put one foot in front of the other.
Mm-hmm.
The man needs to watch out. Because when that
You need
woman
to
is
watch out.
fed up with your behind,
Mm-hmm.
she's fed up and she's out of there.
Tired.
And that's what she's telling Anthony. He can do whatever he's gonna do. We're gonna have a long spring and summer of Anthony BS. Dave is gonna be there for Amber.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean with Amber, I mean for Amber to get that restaurant going. Anthony's gonna be in his feelings, he's not gonna like it. That's his quote wife.
Mm-hmm.
Amber is his property.
Okay.
That's his property. He doesn't listen to a word Amber says. And she said that to him. And he doesn't because he doesn't care. Amber is there to service him.
Mm-hmm.
Amber's there, that's her job as the wife, to serve Anthony. And I think Amber finally came to grips with what she was living with.
That's
And
where
she didn't
is.
like it.
She doesn't like it.
It's demeaning. It's demeaning. No. It's not that you don't like it. You can't stand it. You can't breathe. You want to run. You want to get away.
Suffocate. She's suffocating.
That is where Amber is.
What
I wish she
percent?
would take the ring and put it in her pocket.
What percent, Nanya, are you saying that she's at in terms of decision making? What percent? 100.
Right now, today,
100.
right now,
100?
today,
Mm-hmm.
I would say 100. No, I do say 100. As of,
100.
listen to me. Will you listen? I ain't playing with you. As of today, no, O'Neal. As of the time she took the rings off, at that moment, she was at 100%.
How much she had right now?
Anthony thinks he's gonna wear at that moment where she took her rings off.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, take your damn rings, and she put them down. Rings can be like handcuffs, like shackles.
Mm-hmm.
If you're steadily wearing your wedding ring,
Mm-hmm.
you're still tied, and
Not
she was
mine.
smart to take it off.
Not my one. Mine different. But
I
yeah,
keep my rings on. I don't have it on now,
my ring,
but
my ring and
so
mine are different business. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
at the time she took the ring off, she was at 100%. And when he touched her the other night, she looked like she wanted to just vomit, like just, you know. So right now, she's probably at, no, she's at 100. He's going to wear her down some. I do expect that. I expect that.
Okay.
But Dave, I think, is going to have an influence on Amber. Remember, action without words. That's like prayer without the works.
Okay.
Faith without the work. Okay? Same concept.
Okay.
So I do think Dave is going to have something to do with Amber's strength, but it's also going to have to do with Anthony's. Because somehow he's going to have to adjust it because this man is going to come after his wife. Bottom line, he is eventually. He's going to be around that restaurant and Anthony's not going to like it.
Okay.
What else you got for me?
Hold on right there, Sanaya. So I'm gonna let Rico jump right in. So
Uh-oh.
let me ask the audience, what percent is Amber at right now? I mean, based on your inkling. Nani has already given me her percentage check. Me not think she at 100% as it. I will say that. I think that there are still pieces in there. But I'm gonna come up to Rico. Let me look at some comments. Somebody said 100%. A devil say that's right. So that's right. Give me your percentages, friend. Give me your percentages. Abby said 100%. Let's see. She's married to Anthony. She's married Anthony to make Wayne jealous. Which is beyond. Okay, all right. So somebody said
Yes. No,
they need
that's
to get the
over.
real marriage counselor. That a woman is working for Anthony. Let's see. 60% got it, and said 100% right there. So Amber said that she forgives, but she keeps looking back, and this is not godly. It's not the godly way. When God forgives, he does not look back. So I think that what Charmaine is saying, that yes, you can say you don't forget, but if you're forgiving, then you forgive it. I think that's what Charmaine is saying in that comment. Let me see some more of the percentage that you guys give me.
They're in her
Somebody
face
said
every
100,
day.
somebody said 95, somebody said 75. I'm getting y'all's percentages, friends. 100%, 96%. Get turned off. 100%. 100%. 0%. I don't think it's 0%, Boswell. Come on, but we know you want to say something. But
Boswell
they
can't
like
help it.
minus
He
one or
can't
two.
help it.
90% from Shirley. 100%. Angela Atkins says 70%. Interesting.
That's interesting.
100%. 85%. 100%. 100%. No control. It's in the high 90s plus. I'd say no because you cannot, you know, get a narcissist in check, so you can't get a narcissist in check. So in other words, it's not going to work. Is what somebody's saying. 75, 100%, 75%, 90%, 75%, 80. Yeah, we won't see Amber leaving out that door. Somebody said she not go nowhere. Kiki said she not go nowhere. And we know yesterday was your birthday, Kiki, by the way. I hope you enjoyed your birthday.
Yes, happy birthday,
And
Kiki.
Happy
then
birthday, Kiki.
you
So,
can't
Oneal,
forget, but
this
you
was
should
the
never
time she
forget.
took the ring off.
Yes. So they're asking
Okay.
where she is as of right, like not meaning since Anthony has forcefully put the ring back on, them wanna
Yeah.
where she at. Hold on, Nanya.
Okay.
50%, 80%. I'm gonna jump in Rico first and then I'm gonna jump back to you. Let's see. Shauna has not met Dave. Is this 85% or is 855%? 100% for Dave. You can't put Dave in this stuff. She is a married woman. And she must not cheat because if she cheats,
He's
only
not
is
in
going
my
to call it out.
calculation.
She should not cheat. All right, she should not cheat.
You're not going to cheat. For what?
And then let's see what else. Let's see what I have. Right back on. 70%. This is season of Lent. So Amber needs to be sabbatical. That's what Charmaine says. 85%. Let's see. Okay. What percent, Rico? Let me stop right there. So Rico, what percent is Amber at right now based on
I would say Amber is at 80%. I'm not. If she was at 100%, Nanya, I'm the devil's advocate. Remember, I'm telling you, I'm doing that.
And
Amber
I
wouldn't have
disagree
taken
with you
that.
all the time.
She would not have taken that ring back. If Amber was at 100%, trust me. If that was me, I would not take. I don't care who it is. I would not put that ring back on my finger because I meant what I say, and Anthony would understand I meant what I say.
So
I get that.
No, seriously.
I get that.
Let me hop in right here. So, and I'm gonna let you respond, Nanya, for a little bit. I kind of said the same thing today because the truth of the matter is, Nanya, when you're really there to a point where you don't trust me, you really will embarrass people in public. I said that today in my video. Like you would. Like, you know, it's almost like, hey, me tell you.
You guys don't know me very well.
I told you back in the room, say, it done. Why you think you're going to come in in you know, broad daylight and you're going to make it different? No. I'm not putting it on, but because I saw her playing it off and they must say, you know, Shauna go and pray for her, which you know Shauna will do that. But
yeah, no.
what I wanted from her was then, well, I want from a girl, Nanya, is this. Me want your girl to say, listen to my man. If she, just like you're saying, it's done. Me want she show me in all angles. And this is why people are giving less than 100%. Because if you're saying it's done, them want to see in all angles done. Them no want look in this frame and them see it done and then them look in the next frame and them see a set.
I'm gonna look in the frame.
You're going to look at the frame.
Let me tell you why.
The frame. Mm-hmm.
So all these arguments they've had in the restaurant, this is Wayne pulling your strings, okay? All of these, you guys have been talking about all the arguments and how silly they are, blah, blah, blah. So today, when she does the sophisticated thing of taking the rings to prevent an argument in front of Shauna with her nosy self, Keisha with her nosy self, and she takes the rings back, now that's a problem for the audience. She should have acted a fool, basically. Now, Amber's she's no Nonya. But when that happened to me, I went outside with the rings and I threw the ring in the parking lot. My temper is 10 times, 20 times worse than Amber's. But I did not act a fool in front of my family.
But we've seen Amber act a fool before.
Exactly.
But I understand that. I get it.
We've seen her act a fool before, so we can't say she wouldn't act a fool because we've seen Amber blown up Anthony in the middle of here. So what I'm also want to ask you as well too, are they showing us something as well, Nanya, on top of that? Because what I've noticed is each of them have an advocate in that restaurant. Amber have her like an advocate and Anthony have his advocate. Respond, Nanya, then I'm going to make
okay, I will. This has to do with
Mm-hmm.
Amber's overall demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
O'Neill, I'm telling you, when a woman checks out, she will do things that you find strange.
But that are you, Nanya. See,
The
that are
fact,
you. I believe you.
no, I'm
I
not talking
believe you.
about me now. I'm
Okay.
talking about Amber.
All right.
So the not touching her, the snatching his
I
hands
know
off,
that
like
part. I
don't
know that
touch
part.
me.
I know that part.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when a woman does things opposite of what she would normally do, like
Mm-hmm.
explode in an argument or take the rings and throw them, when they don't do that to you, you need to look twice because there's something going on with this woman that's different than what you are accustomed to.
Okay.
Okay? So when she didn't act a fool, that's why I wasn't surprised. She took the rings so that she doesn't act a fool because she doesn't care. She took the rings, she put them on, and told him, just go. And that's, oh no, you have to keep your peace. When you get to where you can't stomach somebody,
Mm-hmm.
remember, she told him, just go home. Like, just go away.
Go
Like,
on your yard. Basically,
dissipate.
so if you go on your yard, just go on up on your
Vapor.
yard.
Just go. Just go. Get lost. Get out of here. And then, oh, and the other thing, remember he told her a couple of days ago,
Uh-huh.
this is your restaurant now. And then all of a sudden today, it's their restaurant again. You
Switch up
think Amber
everything.
didn't pick up on that? Those are the little things that I'm talking about.
All right.
When your woman is paying attention and she is not feeling you,
Ooh.
she's going to act differently. And that's
Okay.
a fact. Because she's like, what's the point? Why expend the energy to act a fool? For what?
So that's where she is.
I think so.
Jump in, Sharon reviews. You go ahead. I'm not even going to go this time. It went past me. Go over to you. In fact, give me a moment. Let me read 5 comments and then we're going right over to Sharon reviews so you can get in your 2 cents. Nanya, that is what they think, but she is not bothered at all. That's what Sharon says. Shirley says Amber doesn't have to act a fool anymore because she's already gone mentally. Now
She's
that she's thinking about the
gone.
next one.
Exactly, Shirley.
All right,
That's what I'm
Goddess, I'm
saying.
telling you. May I because today is just a smaller podcast, I'll bring up one the other time. I'll be bear with us. It's I don't have no more of the what you call it the seats. That's what it
The
is.
seats.
Yeah. Um, I'm not under that program where I can have many seats. She performed at the restaurant many times. Why not today? That's what somebody said. That's what I was saying too.
I just answered.
Some of the people never think anything Amber does is right. Well, yeah, but no worries. We criticize it. Dave spoke to Amber, to Amber all of 10 minutes. Only spoke business, and that makes him a definition of a real man. Don't know the man from a can of paint. I hope she's a. You see that? You see? So you say, I hope he's a Dan. In other words, what Jake says is we never know if think there's the guy. We just never know. And you're right with that because Dan look whatever it is, and then we realize Dan not getting a pum pum anymore, run the red light and all that. Anyway,
His red light
Nanny and I
special.
thought he wasn't gonna cover that.
Oh, yeah, did you? I posted on that. That was the sickest thing I saw.
Dan want to run the red light and
Yes.
all them something. No matter how them
Right.
stop him, police probably would have arrested him if you ask
Red
me.
light special. TLC. I thought, what on earth is this I'm watching?
And then Charmaine says, I'm going to give it Charmaine. Charmaine says, Amber is confused right now.
I
How
don't think
can you tell your spouse you want a divorce and not tell the reason? So that's what Charmaine says. Sharon, you get in, and then I'll throw back over to you, Nanya. But go ahead, Sharon. Go ahead and get in.
Okay.
Okay, so I understand when Amber pull Anthony's arms from around her waist.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that she was done. She don't want him to touch her.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why for that is because Anthony said to her the night before, he has some friends, some people, and he has marketer. And that later let her body boils to know, say, at the restaurant been struggling and I've been asking this man for help. And all of a sudden he can help.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the morning he's pretending like nothing happened. Plus, what hurt her also is the fact that he got tell her, says, Shayla, don't call him weak. when
Yeah,
he's weak.
that was a tough line. That
Yes,
actually
that
that
was.
line. I think that line is also a big line to be
Yes,
considered.
That's
that
what
one
I'm
was.
saying.
Yeah, that's a big line to be
That
All of
was
considered.
a
those
big one.
together.
So
You have to put this together. All of it.
Anthony, um, dig his own grave. This is why it says Amber is not at 100. Trust me on that. Amber is at 80%.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever feelings that other 20% that she have left, because she did touch his hand when she said, I want a divorce, and she touched his hand slightly
She
to
touched his
say
arm
this is done,
today.
Mm-hmm.
that it's over. From you see a woman get quiet,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony should have known something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But he was too busy
Mm-hmm.
loving Shayla, telling Shayla he loves her, and then go give her 5,000. What kind of money again, Nania? What kind of money he called
Just
it?
because of, just because.
The just because
It's
money.
just because money.
You
But
are
Amber doesn't know
Just
about the just because,
because.
but she knows Shayla got that money. And
That's Shayla's
Amber
love
wants
language.
her freedom. Yes, I
She
can
wants her
agree. I
freedom.
am. If we follow what we're seeing, we can also agree with Nania. If it says yes, this is how we want it to go. Yes, I can agree with Nania and say yes, Nania, it can go this way, but it can also go the other way.
Well, it can
Maybe,
also go the other way, but
maybe Don is swinging on the other side like Sonny's husband. You never know, because Melissa know Don, Dave, I meant for 10 years, and we don't know much about him, but he's coming in to help Amber. Amber appreciate that, and Nanya is right. That price is actually $10,000 per month, but he cut that down for every quarter, every third quarter for her, because she was sitting there and says, "Oh my God, that is so expensive." And Namir said,
no. But the
Amber, you
ring,
can afford it. But Amber is only thinking about what she have in her bank account for herself, what her money is like. She's not thinking about Anthony's money. We all know that Amber is not in it for the money. Amber actually loves Anthony. But a lot
she
of people think,
does.
oh no, she doesn't. Amber actually loves that idiot. Seriously, she does.
She love him. She love
And
him.
she even tells him, she says, I love you. But Amber wants the
But I
freedom.
gotta divorce you.
She
Yeah.
needs, you know what?
I
I think they should make them separate for a while, even if they don't divorce right
I
now.
like that.
Amber should just move out. She needs her freedom to breathe. Because which
Hmm.
person would take back a man, your best friend, and your husband, go sleep
Yep.
with your, I mean, and have a child, and then you have the baby, and you're loving up, and you babysit the baby, and the mother not working? Come
Yeah,
on now,
right.
make that
Rico,
make sense. So,
I want
Rico,
to
let
see
me
her
say
live in a
this.
guest
Hold on
house.
there. Let me say this. She does need to breed. That's for sure. She need to breed so she can have her own child. That's what I would say. Where are you talking about breeding or you said breathing? Which one? I'm not certain which one it is. Which
You want to breathe your
I'm
own
sorry.
air,
Never mind.
not his.
I was
she
thinking of
wants
the
to
wrong
breathe.
breed. I was thinking of the wrong breeding. Never mind. Go ahead, Rico. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay, Oneal. I understand. But you know what? Dan wake up a spark within her to
Mm-hmm.
make she
He
see what
did.
she was missing from that marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Because when Anthony came in, he danced and he carry on, and then when he gets her and then she dropped the divorce, he was jumping, hallelujah, right? And he could never
Yep.
pray. Don't be surprised if Anthony not going to pull out the Bible the one praying. But what Anthony should
The
have done,
devils know the Bible better than us.
yes, exactly. What Anthony should have done when he comes back to Amber. Remember, Amber said to him when he was on the porch, right? She said to him, says, Angie can work anyway with your phone, right? Him say yes. She says, do you plan on going anywhere? Him said no. She wants him to book a vacation for them to go away. That's what, and Anthony, she's asking Anthony all this time for her and him to go away. I remember he planned a trip and then she decided to keep Kai. We do not know if that was really a trip they were really going to go on, but she decided to keep Kai, and I didn't like that. Amber, stop it right there, so she can't blame Anthony on that because
She
they
never
planned
tried to.
something. She got upset about that, and Anthony succumbed, and he says, "Okay, we're gonna do this." But Amber override him and take the baby. I do not, and I think the reason why she did that, we can't give her flack for it, but I know why she did it because the baby stink of gas, right? So
Yes.
she did that to protect Kai. But at the
Yes.
same time, Amber has to remember that's not her child. If she wants to have a
True.
baby with her husband, they have to let Shayla keep her baby and they have the baby every other time. They cannot be having the baby every single God Almighty day. It's like they have the baby today, the grandmother have the baby, they, in the day they have the baby, you know what I mean? When are they gonna have time together? But Anthony have time to go to to exercise every day. He can whine and talk bad about his wife, but if you look at it, Anthony never like he will whine about Shayla, but he never speak negatively about Shayla. But when it comes on to Amber, he does that. So why in God's name is Anthony fighting for this marriage now? When he told her she must fend for herself, he get her that restaurant and he tell her to sink. He
Trophy wife.
expect her to sink and she must float and save herself. And
Yeah.
that is just wickedness. And then all of a sudden you can come into the restaurant today. So this
You
is why
know.
I said it is 80%. Because if that was me and he done all of these things with whatever she's aware of, we the audience is peeping in to see what is happening within her life. But what she's aware of or assuming, when he comes into that restaurant this morning and there with the whatever that thing was, the menu, and he take out that ring to put on my finger. I don't like Miss Chana, period. I, I would tell him off and walk out of that restaurant. I'll tell him to keep it. I wouldn't want that ring on my finger because Anthony is doing too many sabotage. He used the Bible against her this morning, manipulated her this morning with the word, and she threw it back at him because she knows what he's doing. And
Yeah, she
Amber
did.
knows her husband. She knows him.
And
And
she's
so
sick
this
of
is
him.
why I said it's 80%. It is 80%.
80%.
Because if it wasn't 80%, trust me, Detroit Amber would have come out, no matter what. He kills it and whatever, and she done. If she done what we think she should have done, then I would believe it. But because she didn't do what she was supposed to do, I
In whose
realized
eyes
there's
was she supposed to do it,
Anthony
though?
Anthony have 20% chance of saving this marriage if
20%.
Anthony plays his card right. And I think Dave is going to be the one to save that marriage. Mark my words. And if I'm wrong, I'll come back on here and
I
apologize.
say you're wrong. Let me ask you this, Rico. What could Anthony do? Let me ask you this, and then I'm gonna throw it over to Nani. I'm gonna read some comments and throw it to Nani. What
Your
could
mic
Anthony
went
do?
down,
Mine?
Oneal.
My microphone?
You're fine now.
I'm better now. Okay.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, Rico, and let me ask. Oh, Rico, I can't hear you.
Yeah,
Rico?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, you can hear me.
Okay, no problem. It must be it probably feeding back. That's what it was. Rico, what could Anthony do to save the marriage? That's the question.
Honestly, if he stop manipulating her, right? If Anthony says, you know what, I know you want this divorce, but let's go on this vacation together.
So a vacation.
A
Yes.
band-aid. A band-aid.
I think they should do that now. When they're on that vacation, they should talk. They won't have Kai as distraction. He won't have Shayla as distraction or Ben. It will just be the two of them. They really need to sit and talk, but Anthony kills that. So now Anthony has to go work twice as hard or triple timed hard. You know what? I think what can really save it to Oneal is for him to stand up as a man. Let Amber see him behave like a man. Do what
Yeah.
he needs to get done. Maybe that will save the marriage.
Well, that
But
was
if
part of
she's
my
done,
point.
but if she's actually done, as Nania said she's done, then nothing Anthony does can save the marriage. Unless Amber is pregnant. And if she's pregnant, I think she'll walk away still. If she is done.
Ooh, so it's close as well. All right, so hold on right there. So stick up in. I'm gonna get in. Nani, I'm gonna get in a little bit. I'm gonna read some comments real quick. Hold on, friends. I'm gonna read some comments and we get into this. Amber could have turned around and walked back the restaurant door. And when she saw Anthony there, she took a trip by herself to get her mind together. Anthony needs to stop being a liar and tell the truth, hiding money. Amber building babysitter, keep his own child. Let me see. But Amber is the reason that they don't. Hold on. They're not. I think the both of them are the reason. It's kind of quirky between them and the talking. Arguably, Nanya and Sharon that Amber has agreeably. Sorry about that. Agreeably, Nanya and Sharon that Amber has many valid reasons why Amber wants a divorce and has emotionally checked out. Don't give up, Amber. any money. Don't give up Amber. Don't give Amber any money. She's not gonna take it. Okay, she's not gonna take it. Let them divorce first. Let them first find themselves and then decide afresh. Go on a vacation. Anthony isn't a good person. He needs to talk. Don't need to talk to anyone. He needs help. Yes, Sharon. The percentage is very low this time. Amber
It's not.
is following the leader of a strong character of a man. Let Shayla know that it's not a family restaurant. Then why you want more than that right now? How can you take a vacation now if she's running the restaurant? Not gonna be able to do that either. Why does Anthony have to plan a vacation? Amber can plan a vacation. She has Anthony's credit cards. The only reason I'd say you'd have to plan one right now, Charmin, is because it's on the edge. So the truth of the matter is, if you marriage up on the edge, man, you gotta do something. I don't know about that, but you gotta do something. Come on, what you gonna do? Ask your wife to do something when she says she wanna go about her business. That's not
Exactly.
wise.
A
You may not
vacation.
want to do that while she's trying to do that. Amber knows how okay, let me see what business too. She knows whatever the business is. He taught her everything that she knows about business. Remember, she told Anthony she learned from the best, Mr. Dalton. Rhonda, how many times has Amber bashed Anthony to the other people? Okay. Is Dave God? Y'all and Dave is so okay. All right.
Oh,
So that's a different.
Bondswell will sit down.
Marriage is not easy. It's a big step, and it just sounds like it's good. It's being in love, but yeah, it's hard work.
It's
Depends on the
more.
person. Isis
Hmm.
says so. Her fans have a reason to feel sorry for her.
We
So,
don't feel sorry for her. That's what they don't understand.
I think Dave was just a breath of fresh air and a glimmer of hope for life outside of Anthony. That was all. If Amber
I like
is
that.
serious about the divorce, pack your things, serve the papers, and leave. I said that too, because that's how I feel with
Mm-hmm.
divorce thing.
I'd
If
like to
Amber is
answer that too when you're done. That
which one?
goddess
Which
comment,
one?
goddess comment
And
about
answer it really quick and then give me 30 seconds and
well,
I'm read five.
when when you get to the point where you want to get a divorce,
Mm-hmm.
what is unless you're in an abusive relationship,
Mm-hmm.
Amber can go live in the guest house. There in certain states, I don't know about Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
but if you abandon your marital home, that can be a strike against you.
It
In
can.
California, people typically stay in the home in separate parts of the home because we have an abandonment law.
It
So
it's all over.
you can pack your clothes and run away, but what for? That's your home. So
Right.
it's hard to just pick up yourself and just leave your home just because you're pissed off.
Right.
Go to the guest
Or
house.
a separate
That
room.
I can agree with, or a separate room.
Mm-hmm.
That I would do. But to pack my things and leave,
Leave the
no,
entire home. To do all of
because you
that
still
makes
got to
sense.
go through the
The
process
process.
of the divorce um,
The divorce process.
procedures. Get it processed
No,
and served
that's a
and
good
looked
point.
at.
That's a very very good point. That's a very good point. I'm glad you raised that because yes, if you are to leave the house, they can look at it that you have abandoned the marriage and they could charge you for that. So they
That's
could do that.
abandonment.
If Amber was at 100%, she would have called Brittany to be her lawyer. Brittany has all the info about
Brittany's
Anthony.
gone.
Yeah, Brittany's
Brittany's
gone,
not
friends. So
coming
that's why
back.
this won't work.
She's gone.
Let's see. Let me get some more comments. I mean, Shayla is not clueless to the fact that she is starting all over and controlling Anthony, which is easy for her.
Yeah,
You're right. It's kind of easy this
she's
time.
in the middle of their marriage,
All right,
like I
let's see.
said.
And then let's see if I can get one more comment. Shay dropped the baby off. Surprise her surprise her. Book a private jet to take her on an island. I feel like we need
Exactly.
more than empty. It
That's
sounds
a
good, but
band
we
aid.
actually need more than it. It's gonna need more
No,
than those things. All right, let me jump in first, and I'm gonna give Nana the floor. Someone is asking something. Beverly, I don't see your comment. I'm gonna try to see if I can read one from you, Beverly. Beverly, if I understand, the chat moves very fast. So when it moved, by the time we're done talking, it gone. So basically, I don't see the comment. It don't mean I'm avoiding the comments, friends. We're not
Yes, it
forget that.
does move
Beverly.
fast.
It
It's
moved quick.
correct.
It moved quick, friends. I have to take
I
my
don't
time.
see it.
I have to
Beverly.
scroll.
Yeah,
I
I'm
gotta
looking
be
for it
scroll.
too. I don't see it.
I'm trying to find the comment, but I don't find. Okay, let me say this. I'm gonna be very honest. That going on a vacation right now, I don't think is the biggest thing Anthony could pull. The
No,
best card he could pull. This is the best card he can pull. To me, Amber, I think I want us to go get couples therapy. and I want us to
Yeah.
get singular therapy. However, hold on before I get into it. However, I want you to choose the therapist, not me. If he were to say this and give her the control of the therapist that she should choose,
Mm-hmm.
so that way that she can choose somebody that she deem to be what you call it then fair, because I think that what's going through Amber's mind right now is that things are not fair enough, and she have a
They're
plausible view. She
non-existent.
she she does have a very plausible view. May I forgive her that,
Mm-hmm.
right? She have a plausible view. Okay, I think if you were to do that, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but it at least will open the lines of communication. Because remember, I
Mm-hmm.
told you all about there's a book by Chris Voss. I think that's his name. I'm gonna give you the exact name of the book, friends.
Chris
Chris
Voss,
Voss. Yep.
what did he write? Which one?
Hold on. Give me one moment. There's a book that I read with negotiations, right? Never Split the Difference. That's the name of the book. Good God, I
Mm.
just remember the book. So there
Okay.
is a book called Never Split the Difference. Let me see if I can push it up on my screen so y'all can see it. Very interesting book, but I read it like years ago because it was like, I was working with some negotiations and I wanted kind of some insight. I'm a reader, guys. Hey, oh no, only read no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, only read what he. It's just what it is. Only reads a lot. So there is this book by Chris Voss. Look at this book right here. It's called Never Split the Difference. And in it, Chris talks about the whole idea of negotiations. And one of the things that's never left me is yes, Nanya, like you're saying, Chris said, whenever there's no communication, that's a bad sign in a negotiation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the best thing Anthony can do right now is make sure you open back the lines of communication because she's not communicating.
She's
That's why
shut
I'm
down.
saying right. That's why the best thing I say is, and what I would have suggested is, all right, you know what, Nanya? I think I want us to do at least a little marriage trip. If this is what I would say. If you want to leave after the therapy session done, fine. But at least come to this session, whatever it is, and I'm gonna allow you to choose whatever it is. If he does that, he may have a chance. But if him do the little show up thing right now, when pop up at the restaurant 2 seconds, that's not going to work because it
Overdoing.
looks it's very phony because it look like really it look like you never really wanted to do it in the first place and you're doing it now. And every time somebody does that to me, it make me more even. It make me resent you more because I
It's
realize,
annoying.
yes,
Yes.
it made me realize that you're vindictive. It made me realize
Yeah.
that you know what, you really don't want to do this. You're just doing this because of, and I don't like them to put shows
Manipulating.
on for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's my take of that little piece right there. So Nanya, jump on and what can I say of it?
Okay. So as far as therapy, for the
Mm-hmm.
two of them, I actually recommend
Mm-hmm.
both personal
Mm-hmm.
therapy, especially for Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
And I recommend personal therapy or whatever you want to call it for both. And
Mm-hmm.
then I don't know if it would be couples therapy or couples counseling, maybe once a week or something. But
Okay.
they
Mm-hmm.
both need individual therapy because there's
Yes.
a lot of damage. Amber has her baggage, who she's trying to get rid of, and Anthony keeps putting Wayne in her face.
Mm-hmm.
Shayla is in her face.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony is in Shayla's face.
Mm-hmm.
So Anthony definitely needs therapy because he has no idea how to be a man, to be perfectly honest. His father was a Rolling Stone. He dropped off money, and he did tell Shayla, "Am I like my father?" So Anthony has that in his head. I don't think that Anthony is in love with Amber. In love, not loves. He loves her as a person.
Mm-hmm.
But does he have the kind of love to sustain a marriage?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. He never shows it. And you know about the communication piece.
He never shows that.
So
One moment, Nanya.
he's
Nanya,
so
let me
dismissive.
let me
Uh-huh.
interpret that just for a little bit. Let me read the super chat real quick. Jerina says Anthony has never taken Amber to his hometown. She has only met one relative, and Amber doesn't
That's
know.
true.
Go ahead, keep going, Nanya.
Yeah, it was
Thank
the
you, Jerina.
sister.
Thank you very much, Jerina,
The
for the super
sister
chat.
and Coco, that's all. So it
Mm-hmm.
makes me also wonder what happened when he was growing up since Coco did such a tremendous job.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently she didn't. But anyway, so he thinks he's his father, this Rolling Stone guy. But a man who does not realize
Mm-hmm.
that he's his cheating, this baby he drug home, the fact that he needs to make himself feel good by going and seeing if he could woo Delicia. He's got some mental issues.
Mm-hmm.
Amber can't fix his mental issues.
She
You
can't
cannot
fix it.
fix another adult. Okay? Amber's got some self esteem issues,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think that her communicating with Keisha, not even Brittany, Brittany was just bossy, but it's like Keisha is just making her wake up to herself,
Stick
to
up
her
in right
inner
there, son,
self.
Nanya. Stick up in right there, son. Mommy with a super chat. Mommy says, thank you for the super chat, Mommy. Marriage is hard work between both parties. When both parties are faithful. Counseling is the way to go, especially when you have infidelity. However, it won't work if both are being dishonest. Thank you very much for the super chat, Mommy. I also have to ask you a question, Nanya. What side of therapy would Amber work on? Because I hear about the Anthony piece a lot from y'all, but what side does Amber have to work on? Because I
Self
think she has things to work on. Go ahead.
self esteem
Mm-hmm.
for one.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that she's afraid, I guess it might be a strong word.
Mm-hmm.
Amber doesn't want to be alone. Amber
Okay.
wants to be married.
Okay.
And it's not out of fear. Some women just want to be married.
Okay.
Okay. I got married. I didn't want to be married, but I got married anyway, and I'm happy. Well, I mean, I'm okay by myself. I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay. Um, so Amber wants to be married. Amber
Mm-hmm.
wants a baby. If Aunt, why not take your wife to have fertility treatments? If he loved this woman
Mm-hmm.
and his little raggedy marriage,
Mm-hmm.
he would have done things for Amber that he didn't do. Anthony can play and con a therapist in a heartbeat. Even though we all
Mm-hmm.
think that that other therapist was paid for and bought by him, with Amber sitting there, we know how Amber freezes up. She's not, I think Amber doesn't want to say anything that, it's almost like she's got some kind of fear. You know, I don't know what it is that keeps her from speaking her own truth.
But then
So
Nanya, I like that because then I have to ask you a question. But then that can also be an issue because if you don't as well, okay, if you don't get truthful, and I always say that to people, if you don't get truthful, then the next person never really knows how you really felt. Versus
that's true.
being with versus you just keeping it up because you're trying to baby someone else's feelings. If you don't speak up and let them know, hey, you know what, Nanya, I feel this way about this particular thing, and so I'm gonna say it right now. Now, if you come out of therapy and you keep using it, then hey, forget about it. But
Yeah, forget it. Yeah.
at least you said it.
The thing,
Go ahead.
O'Neill, the thing about
Mm-hmm.
Amber is
Mm-hmm.
that it takes her getting angry
Mm-hmm.
to put her real thoughts out there.
Incredible
When
Hulk.
she gets angry, she rolls it out on the red carpet.
Mm-hmm.
But when she's not angry,
She's not a
and I
character.
don't know if this was about the passive wife deal, I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
that was about,
Mm-hmm.
but she she doesn't want to hurt his feelings like he's a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a little boy. He's a man. And I think that part of her enabling of Anthony's bad behavior
Mm-hmm.
only made it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I am a staunch Amber supporter, but there are things that I saw her do. She enabled him into getting worse than he was.
Mm-hmm. And I like that in Anani. I like that you're pinpointing that because see, that's kind of what I have been kind of saying. That just the same way you argue about certain things, you could also have been enabling a lot of those things with your partner and don't know because you haven't put a stop to it. It's like it's
Of
like the
course.
it's like the
You better put your
disrespect thing.
foot down.
Exactly. Somebody disrespect you one time, you don't say anything. Then they disrespect you again, they don't say anything. And you
Yeah,
keep
no.
doing that until eventually one day they start telling people, well, you know, him always disrespect me or they always disrespect me. Well, were you
You
allowing
let
all
them.
of those disrespecting? So you can't
Exactly.
complain no because you've
Put your
been
foot
allowing this.
down. You're
Remember,
right, O'Neill.
remember that I am the same when I complain about Sheila and just like what Sharon and Rika was saying. The same way how Sheila has been in and out and Sheila decides that she wants him to keep baby and I say, Amber, no. Just like when Anthony said, no, let Sheila keep the baby where she is for whatever it may be because I don't want it. I didn't want that stigma, but some of the stigma she take in that, I didn't like it either. Even though Sheila comes to the restaurant just all out of the blue, so and just over the
Just out
top.
of nowhere.
Right,
Yeah.
which again me ask, why not put your foot down? So there's a lot of pieces I
Tell
see
her
with
to
that,
stop.
and that's
Hmm.
why Daniel told her about the boundaries. That's why Daniel gave her the little boundaries argument. But anyway, keep going, proceed.
Well, I'm gonna wrap it up. But as far as I have to tell you, I agree with you about when she kept the baby.
Mm-hmm,
But even though I do ultimately agree with that,
mm-hmm,
she was protecting Kai.
mm-hmm,
So it's not to wash the fact that she should not have overstepped and kept the baby.
mm-hmm.
She wanted to protect the baby because he was around gas all the time.
But what
So
about the
that
grandma?
one I don't know how to weigh it.
But
And also
let me push on
O'Neal,
you.
a vacation would not have helped them at that time anyway.
A vacation. I like the idea with the vacation. Let me push on the baby thing. Angelina will watch that child. So if Shayla remember
Well,
Shayla was trying to go to, what do you call it,
to
to
stock
wherever it
to
is.
LA
Miami,
Beverly
Right.
Hills.
Or whatever it is that they
LA,
have to
yeah.
do. So look here, there comes a time when you're going to have to put your foot down because people
Mm-hmm.
consistently use that against you. Because they know that they're able to, what you call it, they know they're able to manipulate you. It's almost like, is
Yes,
it the same way that we're talking about the manipulation with Anthony? It's the same manipulation strategy Sheila
she
using.
did. She did.
That's what it
But
is.
oh no,
So
I think wasn't Angelina gone or something? She was not
that's what she
like
said.
present or something.
That's what she said. And so that's why, yes, she did, just like in that instant, I agreed with Anthony. She needed to let Shayla have figured it out. And whatever the
That
decision is,
and I do
that's the
agree with you
decision.
there now. So
That is the decision.
hey,
Regardless, I
you won
understand this.
one. You should be happy. I
Me? No,
gave you
I'm
one. I gave you a freebie. Okay, you won one. There.
no worry yourself. No. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. Let me get it with Rico DIY. Rico, pop right in, Rico. Pop in, Rico. You heard what me and Nani was talking about. Jump in the conversation. Go ahead.
Yes, you guys are correct. The baby, we understand why she kept the baby because of his safety.
Mm-hmm.
But after they gave back the child, Anthony could have still take her away for even for the weekend. The two of them gone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
they can still go on a vacation and leave Shauna and
Keisha.
Keisha to run the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, itself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, nobody not
Dave
going
is
there
not
anyway.
there as yet. We haven't seen Dave coming back as yet,
Right.
and maybe his people will be coming in,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Probably
But
tomorrow.
right now, Anthony is making Amber resent him more and more by
Mm-hmm.
him showing up at the stunt that he posted today. But if
Son of
she
a.
was, as I said, if Amber was 100% done,
Mm-hmm.
she wouldn't have taken that ring back. Let's see what happens tonight. And I know that the reason
Yeah.
why I am on the fence, you see, Nanya, I would say she was 100, but because she took the ring back, she wasn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I am
Fifty
going to be the devil's advocate again because I know how every time when we on this channel, because I know they watch this channel, and
They do watch
whenever
our
they
channel.
hear we're saying something nice about Amber, they do something, make she
We've
does
been
something
knowing that.
really
Yeah.
dumb. And
Yes, they
then
do.
that is why I'm not going to, I know I'm doing the reviews now, but I'm not going to keep on praising our Amber. You know that I want the best for her because
I'm
Amber
not
sees
either
Shayla.
because they
Remember
watch.
what she says to Shayla. When Shayla asks her, is Iman gonna marry me? She said no. And she says, Shayla, you should
Mm-hmm.
appreciate your freedom because marriage is not what it cracked up to be. Amber wants her freedom to breed. Seriously, it's not for her to go cheating. She just wants to be free
She need
from
to
have to be
breathe.
babysitting this husband that she has. Because
Mm-hmm.
if somebody come at her, he's not going to check them immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice, Anthony doesn't speak well of his wife to nobody. Everybody
Ever.
Anthony meets, she cheated with Wayne. So why have a wife
Anybody
like
that'll
her that
listen.
you're gonna be speaking
Hmm.
bad of her?
That's true.
And if Amber knows all of this, Amber should just walk away, as she said. There is no perfect child. There is no perfect marriage. There is no perfect nothing. Unless you make it yourself. But as I'm saying, Amber, she knows who she's married to. She know how clever her husband is. But to save this marriage, Anthony has to put everything on the table. He has to tell her about the play date. He has to tell her about the $5,000. He has to tell her that he's hiding money still, so she can make her decision if and after he put everything on the table, if Amber wants to walk away, it's up to her. If he loves Amber, as he said, set her free. And when they get, if they do that, and they're separated or they get the divorce, maybe eventually when they're all by themselves, they can come back together. At least they will start afresh.
I
At
like
least
that
they will
idea.
start
I like
afresh.
that, Sharon.
To me, I think that
I
would
like
work.
that.
But right now, Amber need to get
Yeah.
away from Anthony for now. And
Sounds
Anthony
good.
Yep.
needs to get away from Amber. He doesn't need to
Yes.
fight for this marriage no more. He should just set her free. When you love something, you set it free.
It'll come back if it's
And
for
I
you.
think if they're supposed to be together,
It will
they
work.
will come
Hmm.
back together. Just breathe. Because
I
he
agree with
was
you.
there reminiscing to serenading to Delicia the other day. And then he lied. When she asked him about the perfume, he lied. Amber's
And
not
he
an
didn't even
idiot.
have
She
to
knows
lie.
her husband was with
Yeah.
somebody.
He
Maybe
didn't
not
even have to
sexually,
lie.
but she knows that he was enticed by a female. And
Yes,
he lied
he
about
was.
it.
A Jezebel.
And if he didn't lie about it, Amber would have more trust him. But this is what she said: I can't trust you, Anthony. And from there is no trust. She just want to walk away. And I said again, Dave spark this thing inside her that she knows she's missing. And this is why she wants her freedom to fly. She need her wings back to fly. And Anthony
I'd
should
like
let you do that.
I'd like to see them get a separation, to be
Yes,
honest.
I would like
To
that.
be
And I
perfectly
think
honest,
that
I would
will
like a
make it
separation.
stronger because Anthony will fight harder to get her back.
But then
Because
when he
at the
gets
end
her
of the
back,
day, Anthony doesn't want Wayne to get her. And he knows if he
I
let
don't even think
Amber
she
go,
wants
Wayne is
Wayne,
going to
Rico.
go after her.
We now go
I
after
don't
her.
even think she wants Wayne anymore. She
He
doesn't
doesn't,
even.
but Anthony doesn't know that.
Yeah,
Amber
That's
doesn't
true.
want
Maybe he
Wayne.
doesn't
just
want.
Anthony mind. Wait with the
Yeah, right. Amber doesn't want Wayne because that ship has
Yeah, she
passed.
doesn't want
Remember,
Wayne.
in her house and Wayne was undressing, Anthony was busy sleeping with his baby mother every single
Yeah,
night. Amber
yeah.
wasn't doing that. And Amber could have fallen right back into Wayne's arm.
Mm.
And I don't care if nobody says vow or no vow.
She
I
doesn't
think
want Wayne.
Amber, that ship already passed because when Wayne never, she was just a fling to Wayne.
Mm.
She was not somebody that he wanted to wife. So
That's
now
true.
she's free. And this is why she chose Anthony because Wayne refused to marry her.
Mm-hmm.
And she chose Anthony and she grows to love Anthony. And
Yeah.
Amber, if people really look at it, Amber not into it for the money, Amber actually loves Anthony. And when they separated, I think Wayne should give the character the chance to part ways and let them grow back if eventually they meet. Because I know Anthony is going to see the error of his ways and see that Amber
Yeah.
was actually a gem
We know.
than
We
Delicia
we
and
agree on
Shayla.
that. We totally agree on that.
Well, all right. I like that. Thank you very much, Rico viewers. Thank you very much, Nanya. This comes to the end of our live because I can't put more
Okay.
videos. I've got to give y'all the earwaves so I can put more videos in on YouTube. Friends, go and watch Nanya Sis Reviews channel. Go and watch Sharon Rico Reviews. She gives very, very nice, insightful things. They both do, right? And Oneal going to do him thing already. I know it work out with all of that. Friends, have a wonderful night. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We will
Thank
talk
you,
to y'all
everybody.
soon. Thank you very much.
Thank
Have a
Thank you,
you.
wonderful
everybody.
evening. Have a wonderful evening.
We appreciate you. Thank
Welcome to the Oneal Show. All I've got is just for you. You ready for my beef tonight? I'm okay, just treat me right. Come in, me people, come in, me friend. What you gonna do when you come to defend? Question ask, me answer them. Wheel it up and pull it up and mash again.